Hey everyone, it's Melissa here. I am the creator of Think Me First and Rock Your Vibe. So I want to welcome you to the show. I'm glad you're here this evening. Just a few places where you can find me is on thinkmefirst.com. That's a blog I have. I have over 100 articles and videos there for you. It's all about self-improvement. And there is a section on narcissism. And then you can find me on Pinterest. We have a group on Facebook. You can find me here, obviously, on YouTube. You just type in Melissa Shim. It'll give you all my videos. And you can also find me at rockyourvibe.com. And that's where I design t-shirts with high vibration messages that you can wear with confidence and make a statement and a purpose for you to wear. So feel free to stop by there and let me know what your favorite design is. And if you want me to make one or create one, or you have a saying or something, let me know. I'll see what I can come up with. But without further ado, just one more reminder, if you give me a thumbs up for this video when you watch it, and if you can hit the notification bell below, the subscribe button below, and then hit the notification bell. You'll be notified every time I upload a video, which is every Wednesday around 7 p.m.-ish. Because again, everything we do here is shot raw and live. So as soon as the video is shot, then it's uploaded. So without further ado, welcome to WTF, also known as Wednesday Thought Forum. And we are shooting live episode number 62. So I'm excited. So today we're going to be talking about how to, or 11 ways to defeat mental exhaustion. And I don't know about you guys, and I don't know if it's because of the full moon coming up or whatever, but lately, mentally, I have been exhausted. It could be the weather. I'm not real sure. But I've been talking to others, and a lot of people seem to be mentally spent, exhausted. So I thought I would research this a little bit more and, come up with some ways to helpfully beat this, because it seems like a common pattern right now. So without further ado, let's start with number one, and that is to review your core values. And make sure that you are aligned with them. I'm not talking about my company when I talk about this, but a lot of people are burnt out at work right now. And Gallup did an interesting poll, or a poll that I thought was interesting, because the most common reason that people leave their jobs is because of their boss. Again, I'm not talking about my company. But they did a research, and they interviewed like 7,500 people. And of those, 23% of them, those employees, felt that they were burnt out often. Do I reach burnout? I do. Is it because of my boss? No, it's because I put a lot of pressure on myself at work. So, but I can't say that I am burned out actually right now, but again, I've been working a lot of overtime. So, but anyways, and 44% of those people in that poll felt they were burnt out some of the time. Okay. So you'll be surprised that most of these people in the research group that they did attributed not to increased work product or not to productivity. It was actually how they were managed. And I see this a lot. I see it with some of my coworkers. I see it with, some of my friends and family. So, sometimes it can be unfair treatment at work. Maybe there's a lack of clarity. Maybe too much expectations are there, and there's lack of support. There's many different reasons why someone may not be feeling very well at work because of their boss. So again, I'm not talking about my company. I won't mention it. So disclaimer though, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about a generalization because a lot of people are just mentally exhausted these days. So let's move on to number two, and that's to make it a choice to set your mental tone for the day. And what I mean by this, and I have a video on this, I have to look back and see which one it is, but I'll list it in the comments below. But basically, think about ways that you can influence your day. It usually starts in the morning, right? So what do you think is going to be more better to set a tone for your day? Waking up 10 minutes late, having a half-assed breakfast, waking up to all the bad news that's going on in the world, just watching the news. Do you think that's going to present for a productive day or a positive day? Or do you think maybe just waking up 5 minutes early, eating a nice breakfast, sitting down, listening to some music or whatever before you start your workday? That's probably the way that you want to start your day, because again, your morning is so crucial as to how the rest of your day goes. One of the first things that I do in the morning is I journal. I journal about 5 things that I'm grateful for. And then I journal about 10 things that I am manifesting in my life. And sometimes I'll even do scripting my life, or how I perceive my life is. So, that's just a thought as well. But number 3 is trying to explore things that actually drain you, and then trying to make changes to those. So this can be difficult sometimes because you may not know what it is that mentally exhausts you. It's an example is your partner or your kids or something. Maybe they have a lot of anxiety or fear about a particular thing. Today's the first day of school for many people. Or maybe they're just frustrated about work or something, So you give them your time, and all they want to do is whine and complain. And, you are hoping to help them because you love them, you want to console them, but they don't give you the time of day. So, you need to set a lot of those boundaries for those people that take your time, your mental time, to listen to them, and let them understand your boundaries, that you're there to help them. But you're not going to be a soundboard for them to just whine and complain. You need to work together to find some resolution to at least make the conversation productive. Because the more and more you hear this whining and complaining, and you're trying to keep that positive mindset, it is mentally taxing for you. Okay. Number 4 is interesting. It's actually to get good at relaxing on cue and not demand. So basically, what I'm trying to express here is that when you have a moment to yourself, use it to relax and do something that you enjoy. You don't want to find yourself relaxing on demand, like to the point where you're so dang tired, that's all you can do. When you get to this point of mental exhaustion, you are making poor choices. You can't think rationally. There's something to be said that when you're emotional or very tired, then you are less intelligent. And there's a lot of truth to that. So be cognizant to relax when you can and on your time, not when you can absolutely no longer function. Number 5 is to create sources of internal motivation. There's many ways that you can do this. Again, everyone is different, so you have to find your way that works for you. I'm just going to use an example, because your brain, you want to find that long-term happiness, okay? Sometimes your brain moves you in different directions, and it only takes you to the place where you have temporary happiness, all right? Example, you just left the office and you had a project that was due that day, but it's incomplete still, and you're going home. Try not to focus on that so much. It's obvious you left the office, it's incomplete, whatever it is, what it is at that moment. When you're on your way home, focus on, how delightful your family is going to be that you're home. Your kids are beaming because they get to spend time with you. Your spouse wants to spend time with you. Be mindful, and I have an article on that too, so I will list that along in the comments. But be mindful of your time. Again, you want to be in the present and not thinking about the past. The past is the past. But sometimes when you just go home and you have this time to relax and enjoy the moment and with who you're with, then you feel a lot more revived when you go back into the office, and then hopefully you can whip out that project that should have been done. Okay. And a lot of this, if you think back, all of these these strategies that I'm giving you, it all is just basically to reduce stress, because when you're stressed, then that's when again, you can't think rationally, and it can lead to burnout. So number 6 is to reframe your current perspective. So, stating to yourself that you're overwhelmed and burned out over and over and over is only going to lead you to that mindset where you create more stress for yourself. And again, you're going to be even more burned out than you were before. Then it just becomes a dangerous self-fulfilling prophet where, you're doomed. Okay. So what you want to do is we got to try and shift that mindset or change that mindset. And so a lot of people will practice that thought stopping word to cue them to change their mindset. Like some people may use the word shift, to do that mind shift. When you start to get the negative vibrations or negative thoughts, you change your mindset. So they may have a secret word, such as shift. For me, I think of the poo emoji. Sounds very silly, but for me, when I think of that, I start to get overwhelmed and negative. I think of that because it just makes me laugh. And then when you start to laugh, or think about something so silly, it kind of change your mindset automatically. So find something, it could be a picture on the beach, or you think of a moment that you had with someone special. It could be anything. It could be a word. It could be a photo. It could just be a vision. It could be an emoji. So anyways, you just want something that triggers that happy vibe automatically like that takes away that negative vibe that you're already having. Again, decrease the stress. Number 7 is to minimize or eliminate any exposure to prolonged stressors. So basically, this can be kind of hard to put into practice. You really gradually need to take a look at the people you hang with, the activities you do, people you work with, the way you operate at home, just your whole life in general. You need to take a good look at your situations, and think about when the stressors occur. Write them down so that you are actually aware, because a lot of people really aren't aware of what really stresses them. They just feel stressed all the time, and then it trickles, and then everything stresses them. So you just want to be real cognizant of your surroundings. Again, mindful in the present of your surroundings, and just take note of what your stressors are, and then take action to reduce those so you're not prolonged. Some people, we talk about electronics all day. Some people are really, really attached to their phones, and they get really stressed when they're looking at all this social media and where they're not and where they should be, and kind of comparing themselves to others. And then you have others that are just claiming they're so happy and they're miserable. Those are stressors. So, remove. If you are cognizant enough to know that that's what's causing it, then remove yourself and give yourself some time to think about things and reflect. Number 8 is to increase your qualified support and network services. So with this one, I'm just talking about people or things that will help you if you ask for assistance. You're so stressed and burned out, you don't even know where to turn to. So I wouldn't turn towards the internet, because you got a lot of false stuff out there. Then you have to spend time and filter through what's true, what's not true. I'm talking about finding people that have maybe experienced this. It could be friends, family. It could be maybe a therapist. If you really want to go to a therapist, I believe in therapists wholeheartedly. I have one and love mine. So, so just develop those networks that will actually see you for you. And it's just a fresh set of eyes who don't know you, and they can direct you in the right path. Start asking yourself a couple of questions here, like, what kind of support do I need? Or what kind of guidance do I need? That's one question. Another question can be, where are the places that I know that I can get help? Again, and this could be just asking a friend for a recommendation or something. And then ask yourself, is this person qualified to give me the help that I need? I can tell you that I went to a therapist once. She was wonderful, but she wasn't for me. I'm not a sugar coater. So I ended up finding a male, which was more, he kind of resonated with me more only because he didn't sugarcoat. He told me flat out, because that's just how I function. And, that's how it is. And so, I found someone, and that was after talking to friends. I was learning more from my friends and their therapists than I was mine. So I finally found one, and that's what it takes sometimes, is just going through a few different resources and then think to yourself, which one resonates, which one's going to help me the best. Number 9 is to build and pause time. So positive and constructive daydreaming is very important. There was, I think it's the Harvard School of Psychiatry. They did a research project on this, and they came to the conclusion that we daydream approximately 46.9% of the day. Okay, that's almost half of the day. Do I think this is true? I think it's pretty damn close, because I know I do a lot of daydreaming, and that's just to break up the monotony of my day. Think about where I want to go with things. So I can see that it's probably true or close. So we focus on overcoming our challenges, and then we see ourselves in this process. And this is what I mean by the daydreaming. So if you can do this kind of thing, sometimes daydreaming takes you to a more positive place, and it releases some of that stress on burnout. So just think about that for number 9. Number 10 is to reduce procrastination on things that really need active attention. And we have done a couple of videos on procrastination. One was exactly on procrastination. Another one touched on it. And if I think about it, I will list that in the comments below too. But, so there's this saying, the more we resist, the more it persists. And it's so true, because the more we procrastinate, the more stress we get. And that, again, puts pressure on our brain and causes burnout and stress. So I think it was the Pomodoro effect is what we were talking about. Pomodoro or something, I can't think of the name. But that is where you actually take a timer and set it for 25 minutes and do something that needs to be done for 25 minutes. Then you take a 5-minute break. Then you start it again. Because when you have this time where there's no distractions or anything, then you will actually be more productive than you think. And 25 minutes is a long time for you to get something done. So, you might even try just doing something that you want for 25 minutes that's not really productive, but maybe you want to go through your email or your voicemail or flip through Instagram or Facebook for a moment and do something like that. But then actually take the time, again, 25 minutes, you can get a lot done. Just take it and do things that must be done or that need your attention. And finally, last but not least, is number 11, and that's to choose to stimulate your mind with energizing information. Does this mean Facebook? No. Does this mean Instagram? No. What I'm talking about, because again, a lot of the stuff that you see on social media or the internet, it's hard to believe if it's true or not. And when I say that, I'm not talking like fake news or anything like that, but a lot of people will portray themselves happier than not. And it's not always necessarily true. And then you start comparing your life to their life, and it's that trickle effect. Or you're just inundated with just negative news here, there, everywhere. So what I mean by energizing information is, something that makes you feel energized, or something that you can learn from that you're really intrigued by. This could be just listening to a podcast, maybe reading a book. I know I just started reading a lot more because I have a little bit more time, and I'm actually enjoying it. I may even create a library here so you guys can see some of the books that I read, but or we can create one together. But just anything, because learning should always be a process. It's not something you're done with when you finish high school or college or work. You should always be learning. That just keeps your mind stimulated and aware, alert. But to just to be motivated and see this inspiring information, whether it's a good book, fiction or nonfiction. Okay, so anyways, that's all I really have. There are tons of ideas out there. I just only try to get a few to spark the imagination. So let us know what works for you here, or if you have another idea, let us know in the comments below. Otherwise, I am very thankful that you stopped by to watch this video. Again, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And remember, think me first. It's not selfish, but it is necessary. Have a good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining.